Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the insights that make you well-informed. Today, we're talking about something really, quite revolutionary, I think, in software development.
Yeah, it feels like a big shift is happening.
Definitely. Imagine your code reviews, right? But they come with comments like, changed variable naming to match pattern from PR tag 23D4, or removed excessive test coverage per feedback on PR tag 219. Maybe added error handling similar to the approved approach in PR tag 241.
Right. And that's not some new super senior engineer who magically knows everything.
Exactly. It's an AI that's actually learning your team's preferences and applying them, without even being asked.
Pretty wild stuff.
So let's dive in. Today, we're plunging into Claude Code. It's a command line tool, and it seems to be fundamentally reshaping how developers interact with code.
Yeah, and it's important to stress, this isn't just another AI that writes code snippets for you. It's more agentic.
Agentic, meaning?
Meaning it can understand goals, break them down into steps, execute tasks, learn, even self-correct, like a really diligent assistant, but specifically for coding tasks.
Okay, so it's much more integrated, designed to fit into the workflow, not sit alongside it.
Precisely. It offers this new way for humans and machines to collaborate on code. So our mission today, I guess, is to unpack what it does, look at some best practices, because how you use it really matters, and maybe touch on the bigger philosophical shifts happening here.
Right. The goal is you walk away understanding the how and the why of this AI programming revolution, see how it can boost productivity, sure, but also how it changes what being an engineer even means.
Yeah, that's a big topic.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is Claude Code at its core?
Okay, so at its heart, it's a coding assistant you talk to in plain English, right there in your terminal.
No fancy geo needed.
Nope. No new environments to learn. And its capabilities are really broad. We're talking generating features from scratch, optimizing existing code, helping with debugging, writing tests well, generating tests. We'll come back to that, automating documentation.
Wow, okay. That's a lot.
And it's pretty much language agnostic.
Yeah.
Works across almost any programming language or framework you throw at it.
That terminal native aspect is huge for developers, right? We live in the command line, but does it add complexity? Is it hard to get started?
That's always the worry with new tools, isn't it? But they seem to have really focused on making it frictionless. Installation is dead simple, npm install -g at Anthropic a Claude Code.
Okay, standard npm install.
Yeah. You need Node.js 18 or newer, a Cloud Pro subscription, or an API key, and WSL2 if you're on Windows. But once it's there, it feels less like a separate app and more like just an upgrade to your terminal.
You mentioned it has an unopinionated philosophy. That sounds interesting. What does that mean practically compared to, say, more rigid tools?
Right. So some tools kind of force you into their way of doing things. Claude Code aims to be more low-level, closer to the raw model access.
Meaning more flexible.
Exactly. It adapts to your workflow, your custom CI/CD, your specific linting rules, whatever. It doesn't fight your established patterns.
Okay, I see. So it integrates rather than dictates.
Yeah, and that flexibility extends to cost, too, which is a really key insight here. It's smart about which AI model it uses for what task.
Ah, so it's not just blasting everything at the most powerful, most expensive model.
No, not at all. It intelligently selects. Actually, over half of the important LLM calls use the smaller, cheaper Claude 3.5 Haiku model.
For what kind of tasks?
Things like reading big files, parsing web pages, summarizing chat history. Stuff that doesn't need, super deep reasoning. It saves the premium models, the more expensive ones, for the really complex logic.
And the savings are significant.
Hugely. We're talking 70–80% cheaper overall compared to just using the top-tier model for everything.
Yeah.
It's strategic cost efficiency.
Wow. 70–80%. That's a game changer, especially at scale. Okay, so we've got this smart, cost-effective Copilot in the terminal. How do we make it ours? How do we customize it?
Right, this is where it gets really powerful. Customization and automation. The absolute cornerstone is this special file, key LODDMD.
Key LUDMD.
Okay, think of it as your code base's constitution. It's a file Claude automatically pulls into its context every time. It becomes a single source of truth guiding its behavior for your specific project.
The Constitution. I like that metaphor. So it learns the local laws, basically.
Exactly. You put everything in there. Common bash commands the team uses, descriptions of core files, coding style rules like always use ES modules, not common JS, repository etiquette, how to set up the dev environment.
So project-specific context.
Yes, tons of it. And even critical architectural decision, the why behind things. Why did we choose temporal? Because our workflows need to run reliably for weeks. That kind of deep context is invaluable for the AI.
Okay, that makes sense. And I heard collide.md is also where you lay down the law about what it can't do.
Absolutely critical. This is the sacred list, the non-negotiables. Explicit commandments like never modify test files or never change existing API contracts, never touch migration files.
Hard stops to prevent disasters.
Precisely. These protect your critical code areas. Data loss, production breaks, these boundaries are essential guardrails.
Got it. And for more fine-grained control within the code itself.
Yeah, for that you use anchor comments,
Yeah.
special comments like aid note, aid to do, aid of question. They provide local context right where it's needed.
Like a little sticky note for the AI.
Kind of. So if you have a super performance-sensitive bit of code, you might add a dev note, critical performance path, avoid extra allocations, see ADR24. It warns the AI away from making a potentially bad decision right there.
Brilliant. So defining rules is one thing. What about automating actions? Making it do things for us.
Okay, two main tools here, custom commands and hooks. Custom commands are pretty straightforward. If you find yourself typing the same kind of detailed prompt over and over.
Like more than twice.
Yeah, exactly. If you do it more than twice, make it a custom/command, like project.optimize to kick off a performance analysis, or test and fix to run tests and have Claude try to fix failures.
Streamlining interactions. Makes sense.
Turns complex prompts into single commands. Big productivity win.
But what about automation that happens automatically, without needing a command each time?
Ah, now you're talking about hooks. These are the secret weapon for automation. They're deterministic commands that run automatically at specific points in Claude Code's workflow.
Like when?
For example, there's a post-tool use hook that runs right after a tool finishes, or a stop hook when Claude finishes generating its response.
Okay, so how would you use that?
Imagine you're editing files. You could set up a hook to automatically run prettier after every file edit, or maybe npx tsc no emit to constantly check TypeScript types in the background.
Oh, I see. Like having a little background helper doing
Right.
checks.
Exactly. Or even sending notifications to Slack or Discord for long-running tasks. It makes Claude Code feel much more proactive, part of the environment.
Very cool. And this idea of modularity, it goes even further with subagents and parallel workflows. Tell me about scaling the AI team.
Yeah, this is really exciting stuff. Claude Code can actually generate specialized subagents. Think of them as temporary AI specialists you can spin up.
Specialists for what?
Anything, really. An agent focused only on API security audits. Another just for React performance tuning. Maybe a database optimization expert. You delegate complex, specific tasks to these focused AIs.
Like building a temporary expert team for a specific problem.
Exactly. And it allows for parallel processing. One developer, for instance, needed a deep UI analysis instead of one agent trying to juggle design, accessibility, responsiveness.
Which would probably pollute its context window.
Right. They spawned 4 subtasks, each with its own priority.
Okay.
One for color export, one for accessibility checks, one for mobile view, one for overall style. Each subagent worked in parallel.
And the developer just synthesized the results.
Yep, kept the main context clean, got focused results faster. It's a smart way to tackle complexity.
Clever. But AI isn't perfect, right? I've definitely seen chatbots confidently claim they did something when visually it's broken. How do you handle that kind of AI self-deception?
That's a real issue. LLMs can be overly agreeable or, hallucinate success. One developer got so tired of Claude claiming UI changes worked when the screenshots clearly showed they didn't,
Haha. Yeah, I can imagine the frustration.
that they built their own subagent, a strict UI visual validator.
Oh, fighting AI fire with AI fire.
Pretty much. Its core principle was simple. Default to failure. Only trust the screenshots. No excuses. It acts as a crucial check and balance. Really highlights that you still need human-defined validation, even with AI assistance.
Okay, so there's a lot of power here, but it needs careful handling. What are the key best practices for using Claude Code effectively day to day? Sounds like managing its memory, the context is vital.
Absolutely vital. Think of it like a conversation. You need to keep it focused. The clear command is your best friend. Use it often, especially between distinct tasks.
Why? What happens if you don't?
The context window fills up with old, irrelevant stuff. It can confuse the AI, make it less sharp, kind of dumb it down because it's trying to consider too much noise.
So clean slate often.
Yes. For longer conversations where you need the history, there's compact. It summarizes the chat, saving tokens while keeping the gist. But honestly, the best practice is often just a fresh context window for each new major task, even if you repeat a few instructions.
Got it. First start. Okay, next up, prompting. We need precision, strategy. You hear Claude described as a new grad with amnesia. How should that guide our prompts?
Haha. Yeah, that's a good analogy. I
Yeah.
mean, specificity is everything. Don't assume any implicit context. Be super precise. Give real examples.
And instead of make it look modern.
Exactly. Say, make it look modern like a linear style app UI, or maybe paste in a screenshot or URL. The more concrete you are, the better the result. No ambiguity.
And you can actually tell it how hard to think. Think harder, ultra think. What's that about?
Yeah, it's like setting its effort level. Think is for simple stuff. Think harder for more complex logic. And ultra think. That's for the really critical decisions, architectural planning, stuff where you need deep analysis.
So ultra think actually makes it use more resources or reasoning steps?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It tells Claude to spend more cognitive effort, consider more angles, do more internal checking before giving you an answer. It's like saying, don't just give me the first idea, really mull this over.
That's a neat control. And what's this technique called pre-activation?
Ah, yeah, pre-activation. Super useful. Instead of jumping straight to refactor this module, you guide it first. You tell it. First, read the entire module, analyze the directory structure, summarize the existing functionality for me, let it build understanding before you give it the main task.
Like letting it study before the exam.
Exactly. The results are significantly better because it has the context. And using XML tags in your prompts like instruction, context, code example helps it clearly separate what you want it to do from the background info.
Can you give a quick example of why those tags matter?
Sure. Without tags, if you paste code, then type an instruction, it might get confused.
Yeah.
Is the code part of the instruction? With tags, it's clear. Instruction refactor this, instruction code example or your code, here code example context. This is legacy code.context. It knows exactly what's what.
Makes sense. You know, something that really jumped out at me was the visual context part. It's not just text and code anymore. You can show it images, URLs.
Oh yeah, that's huge. Think about UI development. You can literally paste a screenshot into the terminal or give it a URL, and Claude Code can see it or read it.
Wow.
It gives it so much richer context, especially for visual tasks, design feedback, interpreting diagrams. It really bridges that gap between visual concepts and the actual code.
Truly next level stuff. But okay, even with all this intelligence, human oversight seems paramount. Iteration, course correction.
Non-negotiable. You have to steer it. Course correct early and often is the mantra. Don't be afraid to hit escape mid-task if it's going off track. Or double escape to go back and edit an earlier prompt.
So interrupt it.
Yeah. Ask it to make a plan before it starts writing tons of code. Review the plan. Does it look sensible? You're the lead. It's the very capable junior dev. Guide it.
Right. And that relates to the idea of small steps, fast running. Avoid the massive one-shot refactor that ends in git reset.
Oh, God, yes. Everyone who's tried that learns the hard way.
Yep.
Thousands of lines of changes. Impossible to review. Nightmare.
So the practical approach is
Break it down. Tiny, verifiable chunks. Instead of refactor auth to update user schema, verify, commit, then migrate data. Verify, commit, then update login endpoint. Small, manageable steps. Give Claude one distinct task at a time. Much safer, much higher quality.
Okay, that makes total sense. And then we come back to that sacred rule. Humans, right, tests. Why is this so absolute?
Because tests are about intent. They encode human understanding, edge cases, business logic quirks that AI, frankly, often misses.
Even if the AI-generated tests look okay.
They might be syntactically correct, sure. But do they test the right things? Do they catch subtle memory leaks? Specific business rules, usually not as well as a human who understands the why. So AI can maybe suggest test scenarios, brainstorm ideas.
But the actual .test.ts file, that's human territory.
Absolutely. If an AI touches a test file in a PR, reject it. No exceptions. Tests are your safety net, woven by human understanding. Don't let the AI cut holes in it.
Strong words, but clear. Okay, so pulling all this together, the impact sounds enormous. What are people actually seeing?
The productivity gains are, well, unprecedented isn't too strong a word. Teams are clearing years of tech debt in weeks.
Seriously, years in weeks.
Yeah. Features that used to take over a week are shipping in 1-3 days. Bug rates dropping dramatically before code even hits production. One engineer knocked out 15+ significant side projects in 6 weeks while still doing their main job.
That's just mind-boggling acceleration.
It's like compound interest applied to engineering effort.
So zooming out, this fundamentally changes the engineer's role, doesn't it? Less typing, more directing.
Exactly. You shift from being the one typing every line to being the one curating knowledge, setting boundaries, teaching the AI and the rest of the team how to work together effectively.
The orchestra conductor analogy.
Precisely. You're directing these specialized AI agents, not playing every single instrument yourself.
Andrej Karpathy talks about a code post-scarcity era. What does that mean in practice? Does code become disposable?
It's a radical shift, yeah. Before, code felt precious, permanent. Now, you can generate thousands of lines just to explore an idea, debug something complex, and then just delete it all without a second thought.
Right.
Code becomes more like a consumable resource for exploration and iteration, not just a final product. It frees you up to try wilder things, experiment much more rapidly.
Liberating, but maybe a bit daunting too. It can't all be perfect, though. What are the rough edges, the challenges people are hitting?
Oh, definitely not perfect. There are frustrations. People report a dumbing down sometimes. Maybe the model selection gets too aggressive with the cheaper models, or context compression messes things up, or long chains of tool calls confuse it.
Context limits still bite, even with 200K tokens.
That 200K window sounds huge, but it can fill up fast, especially with tools outputting lots of text. If you're not careful with clear, you get context pollution, which can lead to chaotic or degraded results.
And training data bias, does it struggle in some areas?
Yeah, that's noticeable. It excels with things like front-end JavaScript, TypeScript, tons of public training data, right?
Yeah.
But niche languages, maybe specific frameworks like iOS Swift, it can struggle more. Sometimes it even makes up methods that don't exist because the training data is weaker there.
Hallucinating APIs, lovely.
Happens. And there's AI laziness. By default, it often takes the easiest path. You often have to explicitly push it, use ultrathink, or tell it, give me at least 3 different approaches to get really thorough results.
And the permissions, constantly asking for approval.
Oh yeah, permission fatigue is real. That constant, can I edit this file, can I run this command, it can break your flow. Some people resort to running it in dangerously skip permissions mode, basically YOLO mode in safe environments, just to speed things up. Not recommended for critical work, obviously.
The YOLO mode for AI coding. Okay, so looking forward, where is this heading? What's the vision?
The trajectory seems clear towards more proactive AI. AI that suggests improvements before you ask. AI that learned your team's specific patterns and preferences deeply. AI with persistent memory across sessions, maybe even projects. AI that understands the whole code base, not just the files in its current context window.
But the core principle remains.
Humans set the direction, AI provides the leverage, and that leverage is just going to get smarter, more integrated, more powerful.
Okay, so we've really journeyed through this world of Claude Code today. We saw how it's way more than just code generation. It's an agentic partner. We talked about Claude E.E.MD as the constitution, setting the rules.
Right. And the power of custom commands and hooks for automation, plus those specialized subagents for tackling complex tasks in parallel.
And we kept coming back to human oversight, precise prompting, course correction, small steps, and that absolute golden rule. Humans write the tests.
Couldn't stress that last one enough.
So this really feels like more than just faster coding. It's a fundamental rethink of how we build software and what our role as engineers becomes in that process.
Exactly. The tools are here, these patterns are proving effective, but it takes real discipline and intention to use them well. It's not automatic magic.
Which leads to the final thought for you, the listener. What does this shift really mean for you? Are you ready to embrace this idea of compounding engineering building systems, including your own workflow, that learn and improve constantly? Or will you find yourself still trying to play every instrument manually while others are learning to conduct the whole AI-assisted orchestra? Something to think about.